Would you be surprised if I told you that the Navy has credited you with over 160 kills? Do you ever think that you might have seen things or done some things over there that you wish you hadn't?
Oh, that's not me, no.
What's not you?
I was just protecting my guys. They were trying to kill our soldiers, and I'm willing to meet my creator and answer for every shot that I took. The thing that haunts me are all the guys that I couldn't save.
Joining us now from my hometown of Pensacola, Florida, is former Navy SEAL Kevin Lacz. He served alongside Chris Kyle and helped train Bradley Cooper for his portrayal of Kyle in American Sniper. Kevin also played himself in the film. Well, Kevin, it's good to talk to you. I understand you're a Pensacola boy and you live in Gulf Breeze.
Morning, Joe. Yes, sir. I'm down here. Love the weather. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I kind of miss home. Thank you so much for rubbing it in. I'm freezing in New York. So let's talk about this film. Bradley Cooper, a guy I know, one of the nicest guys in the world. You were there to help him train for the film. Then he took a liking to you, and he actually, tell us about how he asked you to get involved.
Right. You know, I was initially tapped as the technical advisor for the movie, and so we were training Bradley out on a range. It was Rick Wallace and myself training Bradley. Rick was a former SEAL out in L.A., and Bradley was on the gun for about 2 hours, and he, out of the blue, looks up and asked me, "You ever think about playing yourself in the movie?" And it caught me off guard, because my intention is, we need to get this right. You need to be like Chris Kyle. You need to represent the SEAL teams well, veterans well, and it caught me off guard. And I was like, hey, hit the targets, and we'll figure the rest out from there. And next thing led to another, and I auditioned. I got the part, and I was in the movie. And
talk about dealing with Clint Eastwood, who hired you and said, you got to be in the movie. That's pretty heady stuff, too, isn't it?
You know, it was an honor serving with all the guys in 2006 and 2008 in the SEAL teams, and I've always admired Clint. And if there was some person that was going to do the story justice and do Chris Kyle's story justice, it was Clint Eastwood. He's always been somebody I've looked up to. It was him and the Duke growing up for me, and so it was really important to tell Chris's story, and he was the man for the job.
Kevin, in the movie, Bradley actually becomes Chris Kyle. He actually becomes Chris Kyle on the screen. There is one scene in the movie that stands out to me, and I think a lot of people, and it is the scene in the auto body shop where a young Marine who lost a leg in Iraq comes over to Chris Kyle, Bradley Cooper's son, and praises the father in front of the father, saying, you know, your dad's a hero. And Bradley Cooper, Chris Kyle, is clearly, you know, he's unconscious with it. Yeah, and it really meant he didn't want his son ever to have to do what he had to do. Did it hit you at all?
You know, Bradley did a great job of representing Chris. He didn't want to mime. He didn't want to mimic. He wanted to take all those resources and embody Chris and portray him. And I think he did a great job. That scene in the auto body shop, you know, shows Chris. Chris wasn't the person that would just accept praise and, you know, embellish in it. He would deflect it to people around him. But more importantly, with that, being with his son, you know, as men going forward, and men and women, when we volunteer for the service and we go down range to protect our country, we do it for the people around us. And, you know, most importantly, we do it for our children, so that they won't have to experience, you know, what we did to go over and protect the people around us.
So, Kevin, give us your reaction to the verdict. Obviously, a lot of emotional reaction coming out of Texas. You obviously were a good friend of Chris's. What were your thoughts as the guilty verdict was read?
You know, I really didn't follow the trial. I just watched the verdict the other night, and the first thing I thought about were Chris's kids and Chad's daughter. You know, it's a harsh reality that, you know, it's without their fathers that they're going to have to live. You know, and my thoughts go out to, you know, Don and Judy lost their son, Leanne lost her husband, Taya lost her husband, Wayne and Debbie lost their son, Jeff and Amy, you know, their brother, and it's tough. It's really tough. I think the trial looming has really stymied the healing process, and I think going forward, you know, everybody involved, everybody who's lost Chris is going to adapt to a world without Chris, and, you know, do the best we can moving forward.
All right, Kevin, thank you so much for being with us. Now, exciting to get to talk to somebody from my hometown. Enjoy the sun down there. All right, Kevin Lacz, thanks so much. Coming up next, what, if anything, did we learn today?